8 frags, only 12 frags less than the entire Legacy of Janoom team. That is how well those two guys played in their last match. Looking at Team Degenerates, though, they did not fare as well. Had a tightly contested match. 16-11 loss, though. And it's their second season in Advanced. Their first season average, I would say, at least in terms of their record at 7-9. But 2 of those wins were forfeit wins, and of course, as a result, they completely changed up their roster. 3 members gone: Ox, Hollywood, Amazed Cut, Becker, NyQuil, and 7 were added. Wogie and Ewan remained, and here we go. First frags of the match. Nox gonna find Wogie. Swan getting NyQuil. NyQuil got one before he went down, but Swan just taps away at Becker, who tried to plant the bomb in front of 2 CTs. Was not successful. Now Ewan and 7 are kind of trapped around the corner here. 7 gonna go down with 2 shakes at USP, leaving only Nguyen, and that's not gonna end well for him. Turismo from Heaven tracks him down and ends him winning the round for his squad, 1-0 in favor of iNTACT. But what I wanted to say, a little bit of interesting tidbit here on Becker, who is of course on Degenerates. 7 seasons in a row with one team, Warfleet. And they had 6 main seasons and 1 season in Advanced. Their Advanced season, I think they only won 3 or 4 matches. But still, that kind of commitment from a player in Counter-Strike at any level of ESEA is pretty damn impressive. And from an org as well, to kind of say, look, you know what, we'll run with this and see if it keeps working. Unfortunately, obviously, it didn't since he joined Degenerates now, but cool little factoid. See Optimus and Shake on the B side. Optimus is the B anchor for iNTACT. You're going to see him there. The entire CT side, as 4 members of Degenerates are moving up into that B side. Nox watching from Ivy. He engages with Wogie, and Wogie goes down. Pistol armor buy up here for Degenerates. CZ, a Deagle, and a P250. That's a good flashbang thrown. Blinded Optimus, but wasn't enough. They didn't fire away at him while he was blinded. He gets a couple as a result, leaving only 7, who gets the bomb plant. That is at least $800 for the entirety of his team. So that sneaky little play actually pays off here for Degenerates. Gonna check out the scoreboard, see their money situation. Yeah, they still won't be able to buy up in this round, but it'll make for a much stronger buy in round number 4. So here we go, round number 3 underway. Turismo has the M4A4, and starting lineups didn't get to those, but we have on iNTACT Optimus, Swan, Nox, Shakezilla, and Turismo. Over on Degenerates, 7, NyQuil, Becker, Nguyen, and Wogie. As we have a bit of GoTV lag hitting us. Oh, that is always so enjoyable. So hopefully this lag is only temporary. Seems to be the case, as Shake's going to find 1 on Nguyen, burning him alive, and Swan gets 2 with the scout. NyQuil and 7 as victims. Shakezilla going to get 1, and Swan finding the 3rd of the round for his side on Wogie. It was, of course, only an eco round for Degenerates, but still, Swan can rock the scout as well as he can the op. 3-0 in favor of iNTACT. 4th round of play, and as I mentioned, because of that bomb plant, you see Degenerates able to buy up an op and almost full utility across the board. Nguyen opting for the decoy. Not often you see that, but maybe just misbuy or wants to use this part of the strat. Smoke's being thrown towards T-Con as NyQuil finds the opening frag on Shake. Optimus gets 1, then 2! A double for Optimus over in the brown halls. And we have a 4v3 on our hands thanks to that play. Degenerates did get the opening frag, but could not capitalize. Look at the aggression here by Turismo, pushing all the way into T-Con. Nguyen just did not expect that, came around the corner, and was blindsided by that play. Wogie and Becker, the last 2 standing for the Degenerates, their first buy round of the match. iNTACT, of course, coming out with a 16-6 win in their first match. They pretty much rolled along throughout the entirety of that match. The only times when things got a little bit iffy for them were at the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half, where Legacy of Janoom won 5 out of the 6 rounds. And then they just cruised along after that. Wogie and Becker, the last 2 standing here for the Degenerates. Wondering if they're going to make a play. I mean, their economy isn't in good shape, but they will have $2,900 hitting their bank accounts next round. Of course, assuming they lose the round. First frag here for Wogie, going to be against Nox. But Swan quickly trades him out. Becker with the op, the last one standing, and he's probably going to try and save this one. 47.50 in his back pocket, along with the flash, molly, purchased up, and full body armor. I mean, that's a lot of money he has. Just wants to stay alive here. And indeed he will. iNTACT not going to hunt him down, but it's going to be 4-0 in favor of iNTACT. In the chat, Figman saying, calling them brown halls because Optimus plays there. Wow. That's all I have to say. Not the case in any way, shape, or form. But yeah. 4-0 for iNTACT. Oh, Figment. 5th round of play. Go TV lag seems to be going in and out here, but it doesn't matter. Swan last match had 8 rounds with 2 frags. It's not often you see him get that many with only 2. He only had 1 3K round. But still, I mean, he was contributing in almost every single round that he played, of course. Shakezilla hanging out inside of heaven. Drops down to try and support his team. You have Turismo there. Swan as well. Optimus holding B by his lonesome, as mentioned. You know, Optimus usually plays on the B sites as the anchor, and he's very comfortable in that role, so we'll see how he fares here. Again, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier on. I probably didn't, but this is actually iNTACT's first match on Train in League play. They vetoed Train for the entirety of the last season because they just didn't practice it. It wasn't in their lineup. And they decided in the offseason they were going to switch it up, add Train to the lineup, so we're going to see how they fare, and they're doing pretty well so far. Turismo gets 7, Swan with the off-rag over on Nguyen. Now Turismo gets another one, but he does fall right after doing so. Even from the grave, he still gets that molly frag on Becker, and Shake finds, well, you're going to see a lot of those happen. Perhaps throughout this season for iNTACT, their molly placement is excellent, and the timing is great as well. 5-0 for iNTACT. Here's another buy-up coming from Degenerates. 5 AKs bought up. Full 3,400 loss bonus is now in play for them. Leader over his career on Team Degenerates is NyQuil in terms of KDR and ADR, 1.19 and 85.0 respectively. Most matches played on the squad is actually Becker at 158. Nguyen hanging out here, just biding his time as his team looking to execute over on that B site with a 1:20 remaining on the clock. They still have the chance to, of course, go down through Pop Dog and head to A site. See what they decide to do. Optimus has some reinforcements this time around. Turismo backing him up. He's hanging out on top of the white train. Swan is going to open things up here with the off-frag. Optimus over that smoke, a one-way for him, and he makes it count, gets NyQuil, and then backs off. Nguyen, 7, and Wogi. Alive here. Oh, look at the play by Wogi. Excellent move by him. Went through Z connector, got behind Swan, found Turismo, and then took out Swan as well. Optimus still alive, though. The anchor is holding down the fort. Optimus with a double 3 on the round finally goes down to Nguyen, but did the damage that he had to there. 2v1. Nox has a beat on Nguyen, and he's going to get the frag. Shake helped him out a little bit as well, and that's going to be that iNTACT. Probably the closest round they played so far in the match, but still coming up victorious. As it's going to be 6-0 after all is said and done. Nox just trying to retrieve that op and make sure it does not get lost in the round. That's going to be thrown Swan's way once we get started in round number 7. So far, so good for iNTACT. Average age of both teams sitting at 20, so the oldest player we have here tonight is Becker at 26. Next oldest is actually Turismo and NyQuil, both 21. So we have an oldie here. I'm just kidding. I can't even say that. I'm the oldest one here in reality. Nguyen going to get the op frag on Swan. That's a good play by Nguyen. Going into T-Con, peeking out, finding Swan. playing a little too aggressively, I should say, on top of that train. Then Nguyen finds Shake doing the exact same thing, pushing aggressively into T-Con. This is the best start that Degenerates has had so far in the match. 5v3. Top opper for iNTACT is down. Optimus actually has the op now. Picked it up off the ground. M4A4 and an AK rounding out what remains here for iNTACT. Optimus staring down into T-Con. No one left on the B site. It's not often that Optimus is going to leave that site, but maybe they're reading the play here by Degenerates, and if they are, they're making exactly the right call. Wogi does find Turismo, though, so still no one taken down here by iNTACT as of yet until Optimus finds that frag. Looking for a second, gets it, but then goes down. So does Nox simultaneously. Wogi and Nguyen standing on their heads in this round, and finally, Team Degenerates get themselves on the board. First round victory, 6-1 in favor of iNTACT. Match going to be paused here. Maybe some technical difficulties. Nope, everyone's ping appears to be fine. So just talking things over. Maybe Degenerates don't want to get their economy reset here. I mean, you still have Wogi at 3,200, Nguyen 1,800. I guess the players who would be at risk are Nyquil, Becker, and 7 if they lose this round. Interesting to see Shake go for the MP9 and Nox with the FAMAS. I think, actually no, they didn't have enough money to fully buy up. They're forcing up here with 2 M4s, an op, and as mentioned, the MP9 and FAMAS. Not a 16-0, says Figment. You're not going to see many 16-0s. I think, did iNTACT have one last season? I think they might have. But we're in advance now. Come on. This is an intermediate. Let's calm our nerves. Here we go. Pause ended. 8th round of play. Degenerates have picked up one. They want to get a second here, but that's not going to help them. Swan is back in action. He finds Wogi. Could not out-op him that time around. Nguyen going to try and pick up that op. I think he's having some trouble there. He grabs it. Nyquil spraying down in towards B site. There's Optimus once more, waiting to greet him. 7. There's that molly into Pop Dog. That's a great molly. Shake is going to defuse it immediately. Good thing Shake had his wits about him, because he was standing right in the middle of that. Turismo staring down towards T-Con, hiding in the corner right outside of Pop Dog. 3 members of iNTACT on the A site, 2 on B. There's Turismo again going to B. Actually, not Turismo. This time it's Nox. So they have, like, I guess 1 player coming around to support Optimus every once in a while just to make sure he doesn't get overwhelmed. I see the bomb moving up through showers here. That's on the back of Becker. Going down those stairs into Brown Halls. And they're likely going to set up for a B play. There's really no choice with only 32 seconds left. Flashbang coming in. Good pop flash thrown, and then Optimus goes down immediately. Becker takes a ton of damage in the process. I don't know if they expect Nox to be here. It doesn't matter. Nyquil checking right on top of that bomb train, and Becker going to throw a molly towards Z connector. That's going to force Turismo back for a moment. Becker and Nyquil very lit, though. Only 27 HP combined. They do have Nguyen and 7 to help them out, though. 4v3 in favor of Degenerates. iNTACT, they don't want anything to do with this, actually. Considering their economy, this is probably the right call. There's an AK on the ground for Shake to pick up, and they're just going to go for the 3-man save. That's 2 rifles and an op brought into round number 9. Heads up play. Could have been won by iNTACT had they gone for it, especially considering Becker and Nyquil were just a nade or a molly away from being taken out if they were standing together. But that's going to be that. Degenerates do indeed win their 2nd round in a row, 6-2 in favor of iNTACT. Now, I would expect Nox and Optimus to force up here, or maybe just buy a pistol at the very least. But no, there it is, yeah. The PT-50 for Optimus, and Nox just going to stick with USPS. Why not? In the chat, Park saying, this isn't main, it's advanced. I can't impersonate Bardolph. At all, but thank you for throwing that in there, Parks. Knox waiting with Swan inside of Ivy. Ooh, Swan with a nice shot to the head of Becker. Well, he does find Knox, but Swan follows up with a nice trade. 2 for him on the round. A little bit of aggression with that op, and Ivy Hall's paying off here, as the Degenerates just did not expect him to be up close in that situation. As a response by Nguyen, though, finds Turismo. 3v3. Shakesilla. Going to get Nguyen with the headshot. 3v2 now, so a good play by iNTACT. Good recovery after losing 2 in a row. And then we get a 3v2. Oh, Optimus. Pushing all the way up from long A on the flank against 7, and he nails him. NyQuil, now the last one standing, has to be wondering what the heck just happened as he hangs out on this ladder inside of Pop Dog. I think just waiting to perhaps jump down if someone pushes into Pop Dog, but really iNTACT has no reason to do so. The bomb has been dropped right next to the dumpster here outside of T-Spawn. There's Optimus waiting to find NyQuil. NyQuil, I don't know, looking at the economy here, yeah, he could try. They would still be able to buy up AKs even if he loses his, but I'm not sure if he lagged out or not. He's just not moving. Nerves of steel or lagged out? You, the viewers, can decide. Jeez. So this round's going to end in a victory here for iNTACT, and indeed he did lag out. Okay, cool. Would have been pretty impressive, though, if he didn't move his mouse for that long. 7-2 in favor of iNTACT. 10th round of play, and of course the match going to be paused. And Figment saying lag 100%. Good call, Figment. There you go. You are absolutely right. You win the prize. I said your name on the air. There you go. That's your prize. So a timeout being called as Figment, not Figment. You got me all crossed up now. As the 5th member for Degenerates. Gonna try and fix his lag issues. NyQuil still not rejoining the server. Taco Mike 0-22. I'm not even sure what you're referring to, Will. Hey, what's up, Father Boys? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream and the cast. We have a timeout right now. This is iNTACT Esports up against Team Degenerates. iNTACT, of course, as many of you may know, undefeated in the previous season, throughout the regular season, and of course, into the playoffs as well. And they're still undefeated. Continuing that streak, have they won, what is it, 22 in a row, if I'm not mistaken? And that's not maps, that's just matches. If you go to maps, I can't remember right now. Let's see if I can pull out. I do have the notes in front of me here. Let's look and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 maps in the playoffs. 16 in the regular season. So 24, 25 maps in a row. There you go. Match pause has now ended. There's NyQuil back in here. And we're going to move in with the 10th round of play. Degenerates will have enough economy to buy up here, as mentioned. Anthem Halo saying, I didn't know iNTACT was playing today. Well, they are. Double head, well, not really a double header, but 2 matches in a row. Wednesday, Thursday. Something you might see a lot from iNTACT. They do like to play back-to-back in terms of days. Oh, actually, they did lose a map in playoffs, Parks. You're right. So it's 24 maps in a row. We're not really in a row. Damn it! You ruined everything, Parks. 128 remaining on the clock here. I'm just playing. Swan, 3 HP here. Still alive and kicking, though, as the Degenerates taking their time moving into Brown Halls here. Yeah, that was the map, the matchup against Scottio's team. They lost that one 19-16 in overtime on cash, so it was really down to the wire. Nguyen Getting ready to throw a smoke into the B site. NyQuil right on ramp here. And they're going to move in. 48 seconds on the clock. Here they come. Flashbang, counter flash thrown. Shake finds Wogi, but Becker trades it right back. And there's a trade back and forth. 3v3 now. Swan, Nox, and Turismo still standing. But there goes Nox. He'll only 3 HP and just could not survive the engagement with NyQuil. Frags spread out across Degenerates. Nguyen, Becker, and NyQuil pitching in here. Now it's up to Nox and Turismo to come back and try and retake this site. Nox takes a ton of damage going to engage there with the Opper. And I think he's just going to back off and try to save here. So Degenerates doing a pretty good job over these last few rounds. NyQuil is going to go down. We have a 2v2, but iNTACT is not in a position to retake this site and get the defusal. They're just going to let the bomb explode. Nox going to save the M4 and Turismo going to save the Op for Swan. Technically, Parks, they're on a 22 win streak, and the total amount of maps they've won over the last, well, season, over including the beginning of this one, is 24 maps won and 1 map lost. So they're 24-1 in terms of maps. There you go. I'm wrong. That's bad math, isn't it? Whatever. I'm failing math right now, and that's pretty accurate in terms of my education as well. I was terrible in math. NyQuil was playing MPL last season, Anthem Hill. That is correct. He was on ESEA Esports. And ESEA changed things up from the previous season. I think their roster is almost entirely new. This really changed to try and improve heading into this one. Shouldn't second guess myself. It is 24 map wins. Let's stop talking about it now, though, before I make another mistake. Nox inside of the B site with Shake. And Degenerates. It looks like they've won 3 of the last 4 rounds now. I hope you feel better soon, Father Boys. Never fun to be sick. Wogi gonna find Turismo. That's a good start here. Swan trades it back, but he gets completely overwhelmed as the entirety of the Team Degenerate squad move into the A site. There's Wogi finding the head of Shakezilla as well. Nguyen on top of Green Train, aggressively looking for anyone either inside of Ivy or near Z Connector. And iNTACT all of a sudden having trouble holding the sites. Wogi, Becker down to 15 HP apiece. But Nox and Optimus gonna go again and save these guns. ESEA is old sore now. Thanks for the info, Parks. Is the bomb gonna explode here? Team Degenerates picking up their game and getting things together. I think Wogi's been the one at the top of it. Indeed he has at 10 and 9. NyQuil does go down to Optimus, who is waiting for some exit frags, and Optimus gets a second one over on Wogi, so a bit of damage at least to the economy of Degenerates, and they really can't afford it. Look at 7 and NyQuil both below the 4K mark. So at least there, it's a small victory there for iNTACT in round number 11. But we're in round number 12 now. Degenerates have really cut the lead pretty much in half here. Only 3 rounds separate them and iNTACT at this point. Shakezilla trying to get the 1 Deagle over there. Deagle, an M4, an Op, and 2 USPSs for iNTACT. So they're just trying to save up here for the following round and hope that these guns can do some damage. You have Nox waiting inside of Z on that double molly. Good usage of utility here by Degenerates, forcing Nox back. So he can't really do anything at all. You're seeing Turismo take a ton of damage. And Swan did as well. They only have USPSs though, so they're just trying to do whatever they can. Optimus does find the frag over on Wogi. They still have all 5 members standing to iNTACT, so they can try and retrieve that gun after the round expires, assuming the players holding pistols survive. There it is. Swan able to pick up the AK. 7 does find Turismo. That's no harm, no foul, though. Turismo had no utility or anything. Any money spent in the round. Degenerates will indeed win their 3rd consecutive round, though, 7-5. So a much more highly contested match than last night was for iNTACT. Lead cut to 2 now. They're going to have a pretty full buy up here. Full utility, full rifles, and the op in the hands of Swan. Optimus has that AK-47 in hand. I think that's the right play with your B anchor needing the most amount of damage. You can get those insta headshots. All by his lonesome here. There's some wall banging coming in from Degenerates. Trying to connect here, but nothing doing, of course. I haven't been following ESEA Esports roster, but do they have Infinite One now? I know that Infinite One and MOTM played together on Ethereum before that team became Armada, and then before Infinite was bought out by... Was it ESEA? I can't remember now. But in either case, Turismo going to get the opening frag here in the round. Wogi came around E-box and just got his head taken clean off. Nguyen's trying to support over at B. Hit going to come there. The bomb is coming out. Flashbang thrown. Optimus waiting right underneath, though. He catches 7 off guard, but Nyquil gets the key trade, and they might be able to get this bomb planted now as Becker's playing up close against Z Connector. Turismo finds him, but the trade's back and forth. Nguyen with a good molly thrown as well after getting the frag. Actually, that might have been Nyquil. Swan trying to track one down. No reason for iNTACT not to go for this one. Nyquil waiting on top of the bomb. Molly coming out. He has to move. Great molly thrown. Shea could get this frag. He does, leaving only Nguyen. He has the op, and he's all the way in upper B. Smoked out now. Swan is pushing directly towards him, expecting him to be right here. And that's a great molly thrown, though, by Nguyen to at least hold him off for a moment. Shake's gonna have to stick this one. He gets taken down by Nguyen. Swan gonna have to try and run away, excuse me. Nguyen with some excellent play there. Doesn't even lose his op. Awesome molly thrown onto the bomb. Knew he could wait behind the smoke, and then came out when time was ticking against iNTACT. Got the bomb diffuser, and Swan could only escape with his AWP. Degenerates proven to be quite a challenge here for iNTACT, and they're up to snuff. 7-6. Now in favor of iNTACT. 4 consecutive rounds won by Team Degenerates. Parks, yes, Dignitas. That was the team that Infinite was bought out by after Ethereum turned into Armada. It kind of sucks for MOTM, though. You know, he went to ESEA, moved his entire life over to the ESEA Esports team house, and then gets cut. I mean, that's not a fun end to the story. But he'll land on his feet. Very skilled player, so no reason to think otherwise. Could have just been chemistry, too. You never know. Maybe it just wasn't a fit with the personalities on the team. Turismo inside a pop dog here, playing up close. Nguyen and Becker already taken half damage. Optimus here, a bit of aggression in towards the B site, into Brown Halls, gets a double as a result. Wogi does trade him out as a 4v3. Optimus has been doing a really good job on this B site. iNTACT just trying to secure an 8th round and ensure at least that they come out with the half. But 7 has other ideas, finds Nox, and then Swan misses his throw with that molly because he was running on the ladder. Shake tries to find the frag on 7, then gets Nyquil as well. Shake with the double to end the round off. 8-6 for iNTACT. They end the streak for Degenerates at 4 consecutive rounds won in a row. iNTACT in this 15th and final round of play, trying to get to 9. Degenerates want to make it as close as it could possibly get and get that 7th round victory. I mean, that's just mission accomplished for Degenerates, coming back from a 7-2 deficit and making it 8-6 here. Anybody's game. Turismo gonna get Wogi. Evan gonna come back and trade Turismo. But Nox recovers in time to find Becker. Just back and forth here, actually. Shake and Swan do take things into their own hands. NyQuil and Nguyen, their victims. And 7 is now the last one standing. Swan misses his shot on 7, who's down to 38 HP. He's got 2 on the round, the only 2 frags for his squad. iNTACT 1 frag away from securing a 9th round. And Evan's just hiding behind the smoke. I love the play on words that Evan has going. His real name being Evan, but I like that he added the 7 in front of it. It's clever. Not as clever as Shake, though, who came around the corner, blindsided 7, and that's going to be that. iNTACT do indeed win their 9th round, 9-6 at the half. It's been a pretty good matchup so far. I'm JRT, guys. I do hope you're enjoying the cast so far, and if you are, hit me up with a follow at JRTTV with 2 E's at the end over on Twitter. Usually find some highlights. I'll let you know when I'm casting matches, all that fun stuff. And of course, you'll be supporting me, which I'll always appreciate. Inside the chat, Park said he will get on a good team. He has a fragging IGL, and those are always good to have. Speaking about MOTM, I agree 100%, Parks. I only wish him the best. So here we go. Second half of action is now underway. Wogi going to get mollied right off the bat here, trying to push up towards Green Train. And iNTACT, we'll see what they have in store for their T-side strats. You see 3 members coming up from Ivy Hall, throwing a smoke to guide their advance. Becker is the first victim in the round. Turismo finds Nguyen, then he gets NyQuil as well. Double for him on the pistol round. 7 and Wogi gonna have to recover here and get some quick frags. It's not gonna happen though. Optimus domes Wogi. 7 does find 1, then 2. Okay, 7 trying to get something going here. Gonna need the ace and the bomb defusal to win the round. Not unheard of though. Doesn't have that defuse kit in hand. That's not going to help. Swan pushing up here, trying to play the close angle. And Shake firing away at 7. That is a good play by iNTACT, supporting each other as Swan aggressively pushed in while Shake was suppressing 7. And that'll be that. iNTACT get into double-digit round victory territory. They are at 10-6. Looking to hit 11 here. Buying up the SMGs to try and farm a little bit of money in this round. Nox going to go for the AK. And checking out the scoreboard, Optimus leading the charge at 19-7. Just did a great job holding B, as I mentioned a few times in the first half. And it shows on the scoreboard. In second is Swan, 14-6. And third, Shake, 12-6. Over on Team Degenerates, as you can see, guys, no one above the 500 mark. Wogi, not the closest, but he's got the most frags at 11. But 7 is the closest to 500 mark at 10 and 12. Hey Jennifer, how's it going? Welcome to the stream and the match. For those of you just tuning in, it's of course iNTACT Esports up against Team Degenerates. ESEA Advanced Season 29 action. Well, technically Season 2 of Advanced, but who's counting? Well, I guess I am. Turismo going to get the opening frag here over on 7, going into that B site. 5v4 very quickly. Not even a pistol armor buy up here for Degenerates, just going for the pistols. 2 Deagles and 2 P250s. Shake, gonna get NyQuil as well there. And yeah, iNTACT has full control of this bomb site. They're just gonna hold the angles here and probably clean out any Team Degenerates members that try to come in here. Assuming they do. Becker playing around the corner. I think Swan may have seen him on that jiggle peek. Nguyen taking a ton of damage from long range here from the MAC-10. Swan gonna go down here to Becker, who could get a second one on Optimus, but does not. Optimus recovers, flicks around, gets the headshot on Becker, and Shake finds one as well, leaving only Wogi in heaven. Wogi gonna get Optimus, could make a run for that gun, but I think he realizes if he does, he's gonna go down, and wow, almost did. Not that it matters too much, only had the Deagle in hand, but still, he can bring that into this round, and doesn't have to buy up a pistol. 11-6. In favor of iNTACT. iNTACT gonna continue to rock those MAC-10s. Got 1 AK in the hands of Nox, Degenerates. Choose not to buy pistols here at all. Nguyen and NyQuil on a full save. I think 7 bought up to 5-7. P250 and a Deagle round things out. All 5 members of iNTACT seem to be leaning towards the B site here. Shake, making sure no one tries to sneak up Pop Dog. That could happen here. Look at Nguyen. He's going to get Swan perhaps on a flank. Swan just gets him, sees him out of the corner of his eye, turns around and says, "Nuh-uh, not today." 5v4, 7. Going to be on top of the white train here, not for long. Turismo finds him, running and gunning with the MAC-10. Here's Wogi fire from the left-hand side. Turns around to try and engage with him. Wogi could get the jump here on Turismo. Turismo supported well by Shake, though. And that leaves Becker as the last one standing, who did find a frag on Swan. Optimus knows where he's located and just barely takes him down to 22 HP. Does win the fight. 12-6. iNTACT have regained their 6-round lead. So going to this round, Degenerates going to have a full buyout. 4 M4A4s and the AWP in Nguyen's hands. We'll see what Nguyen can do here up against Swan, who does upgrade to the op, but a bit of a bonus round for iNTACT, sticking with the 3 MAC-10s to see what they can do with those. Worst case scenario, they'll have a really strong buy-up and stronger economy moving into the next round. 7 tries to drop down and get a frag off that ladder. He does. But Shake and Swan respond in spades. 7 and Nike will go down. Becker does get 1 in return. And we have a 2v2. Oh, look at Turismo and Swan's health. Below 30 HP combined up against 136 HP for Degenerates. And I would say the advantage, at least against Turismo here, goes to Wogi and Becker. Turismo peeks around the corner, gets the timing right as a flashbang was in the hands of Becker. That makes it a 2v1. Very smart play by him. Wogi does manage to find Swan, and he knows Turismo's hiding around the oil train. Tries to show the smoke. Oh, this is not going to work at all. Wogi had to have seen Turismo around the corner there as he threw that smoke. That was an easy frag and an easy round victory, at least at the end there for iNTACT. It did go down to the wire. I should give credit to both teams on that one. 13-6. In favor of iNTACT. So iNTACT, like I mentioned before, winning their first match 6-6. Could they do it again in the second one? That said, this match was a lot closer in the first half than last night. I think that was 12-3 at the half. Turismo waiting inside a T-Con here for anyone to try and push up. Degenerates, as you can see, stacking the B site, taking a chance here. 4 nades bought up. Yeah, they're just waiting for hopefully someone to come out here. You see them strafing back and forth, waiting for 7 to call out that they're pushing up so they can all throw their nades. The only one with this pistol is Nguyen, trying to see if they push out from upper, but iNTACT is lined up for an A-side hit. They're taking their time, giving Degenerates a lot of respect here in the round. As Nox peeking around long A. Doesn't see anything, and they're just going to regroup and decide where to go. So Swan and Turismo inside of A main. Wogi has now rotated around to A to check out what's going on. Might have seen that grenade come out. Definitely going to hear the smoke bloom. So yeah, Degenerate's going to make the full rotate over to the A site more than likely in a few moments. Yeah, Wogi and Nguyen already stacked up inside of Z. Going to get that boost going. And Ewan's going to try and dome some peeps. That's not going to happen. Swan going to get the op frag. And iNTACT going to roll onto this A site and get the easy plant. 7. Going to get sprayed down through that smoke by Nox. And now Wogi is trying to do some damage to Turismo. He could. Optimus does come to support. Becker and Nike will go down, leaving only Wogi standing. And he gets domed by Nox. 14-6. In favor of iNTACT, who have all but controlled, I shouldn't say all but controlled, they've completely controlled this second half. Haven't lost a single round from 9-6 to 14-6. Degenerates struggling mightily on their CT side. That said, it did start at 5-0 on the CT side for iNTACT as well. So we'll see if Degenerates can do the same thing and claw their way back into this one. Double op setup here for Team Degenerates, and look at that 7 managing to find Optimus with an aggressive play going into that B site. Didn't work out for him. He did do a decent amount of damage, but quick 5-4 here for Degenerates. Nox trying to spray through that smoke, and now iNTACT gonna have to regroup here. They're spread out across the map. Not set up for the trades in any way. Maybe Turismo and Shake can get a crossfire set up from Pop Dog and T-Con. But look at Nox all by his lonesome over at Ivy. Nox gonna push up here. Maybe try and use that smoke to his advantage. Wogie's isolated. Becker does get a double in the meantime. Turismo and Shake go down, but Nox finds that one frag, so that makes it a 2v3. 7 on the A site here, and the only one on A. Actually, I shouldn't say the only one on A. Becker is also here over at Hell. 7 gonna find Nox, and that leaves only Swan. He gives away his position, but what a flick over on Becker! No damage taken by Swan, looking for perhaps the 1v3 clutch victory. 17 seconds left. He's going to make his way all the way to the B site, and 7's reading this perfectly. 5 HP left for 7, but it's going to be an easy frag if he can get Swan here. He doesn't. Nguyen does come around the corner, rotating to support. He gets the op frag, and that'll be that. It was a heads-up play by Swan, saw the time on the clock, knew both members were over at the A site, but an even more heads-up play by 7, who came around, realized that time was ticking against Swan, and he would not have his gun out. Fully exposed himself, knowing that, but giving himself a much better angle as a result. And that's going to be that. Degenerates do indeed strike back. They get their first round victory of this second half. Seven staring down towards B ramp here, as iNTACT going to still be on a full buy up, 4 AKs and an op, thanks to how many rounds they've won in a row here. They're moving out quickly once more into this A site. NyQuil is the first victim here. Turismo gonna get a double and a triple. There it is. Turismo coming out with an all-star level play, clearing out the A site. Nguyen's responding though. He's got a double with the AWP, and he's still standing with 7 by his side. Shake, Nox, and Optimus gonna try and end this one, and Nox with a very nice double to seal this one off. Nox and Turismo doing the damage from almost the exact same spot. And that'll be that 15th round victory for iNTACT. And that's just what happens sometimes. Turismo takes the team on his back. 19 frags for him in the match. The leader this time around is Optimus with 23. Classy has left. What are you guys doing in the chat? Shake's going to find one, immediately trade out by Nguyen. It's a force up here for Degenerates. They really have their backs up against the wall. 3 CCs and a 5-7. They did make it a 4v4. Unable to retrieve the weapon though that was dropped by Shake. So that AK just sitting on the ground, tempting Degenerates to try and go and retrieve it. iNTACT taking their time. Optimus playing a very tight angle here around the corner near Brown Halls. It's pronounced Nguyen. Cool. Thanks for telling me. In, what is it, round number 23? Great. I don't know how to pronounce those names, guys. Come on. It's funny, though, because I think I've said his name wrong for, like, the past 3 seasons. In any case, Turismo going to find Wogie. Optimus gets Nguyen. There we go. Turismo going to get Becker as well. Swan wraps it up on 7, and that's going to be that. iNTACT, when it looked like the Degenerates were trying to make a comeback here